Government statistics show that 2,414 people have slept rough in England during the year of 2013. That is a 37% rise from 2010, and 70% of homeless people have mental health issues. People become homeless because of complex and overlapping situations. But today I'm here with Anthony Murphy, also known as Tony, who is currently experiencing homelessness in Wolverhampton. Here's his story.
I'm Anthony Murphy. I was born here, I've travelled around, but I've been back for the past 2 years now. Well, I used to be a retail shop fitter. I gave up my tenancy to help get my mother out of debt that she was facing, so basically, effectively I didn't have a place to live because I was under her roof, paying her debts off and whatnot. And then my family decided to get me into a lot of debt, not a little bit of debt, a lot of debt, using my information. So basically, I lost my work, lost my place, ended up on the streets. I mean, when I was like just sleeping over there in the Civic, I got moved on. When all I was doing was staying out of the rain. Wasn't causing anyone any problem, I wasn't damaging any of the property, but I was moved on purely because they don't want me lying there because I made the place look untidy. He'd been living there, literally living in there, and the police ended up getting an ASBO in him and stopping him from sleeping there because he started to use it as his toilet as well and leaving it stinking.
Because of Tony's situation, he's learning to play the harmonica, which now makes him a busker to avoid harassment from the police to be moved on.
So I got a warning from the police and the council being told I can't sleep here anymore. So it's not nice, so that's why we try and find places behind hedges or behind bins or something out the way that people can't see us, so that way we don't get trouble off people or trouble off the law. I've been ASBO'd from sleeping by Beatty's car park. I'm not allowed to sleep there anymore because it says that I was blocking the fire exit. And yeah, the police do kind of get on people's cases, but that's because there's some who, when they're begging, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And they're aggressive. When they're doing it, they don't accept no as an answer and actually harass people for the money rather than just accept what they're told. No, if somebody can't help them, yes, if they can. So for that reason, they've been clamping down on it, and I've recently been in trouble for it myself. This is one of the other places I've been stopping recently as well, the past few days. It's underneath the Steve Ball stand. Oh, I've heard a few comments of what the people think of me. I've been called so many names, I've been attacked by people in the past year. Like, a lot of people have gotten to know me because they see me on a daily basis when they're getting up to go to work, when they're coming back from work, when they're going on a night out, when they're coming back out to clubs. And I've made quite a few friendships now as well, which it's really nice. There's a lot of bad people out there, don't get me wrong, but most of it's fueled through ignorance. They've never actually had a hardship in their life, so they don't understand what it feels like. They stereotype and assume because you're homeless you're automatically a smackhead, crackhead, you know what I mean, or a drunk. It's not the case with everyone. I could point you to a few homeless people, and when you speak to them you're like, wow, you're just homeless, you're not actually on drink, you're not actually on drugs, you're actually quite an intelligent person. But I'm not supposed to have a brain because I'm homeless. Well, it's just constantly you're getting up and you're trying to make sure you've got your money for your food, somewhere to go and get yourself cleaned up, somewhere to eat, you have your breakfast, your cups of tea. If you can get enough for a room, get enough for a room. If not, just make sure you've got your money for your food, toiletries, any clothing you might need to replace, sleeping bag, just all your necessities. Most of their places are quite expensive, but if you go to the outskirts, they get cheaper.
Okay.
And I'd met a lady who will do me a room for like £12.50, half of the price that it's supposed to be. In the archways on the church, different doorways around the town, even by the monument. I've tried with some jobs, but because I've got my bag on my back and with my life in, they don't want to know. You need an address. You need an actual address. You need to be presentable all the time. I've gone to church quite a few times, actually, with quite a few people who I've met. I've had, a few good experiences through the church as well. I mean, there's another church that helps us, with sandwiches in. They do a lot of meals as well when they can, so the church does a lot.
today's society, they believe that all homeless people must be on drugs or an alcoholic. But listening to Tony has made me realise that the government need to do much more. There should be no reason why there are 2,414 people, and rising, sleeping rough on the streets. It's time to care more about the victims. Regardless of his situation, Tony has shown he's a true fighter and will never give up.